Today in The Sims 4, we're going to be building the perfect large family home. If you're new here, I have a series on my channel called the Perfect Home Build series, where we try and build the best thing possible for gameplay in The Sims 4. And with the family home, that simply means we're going to have something to do for Sims of every age group. It'll keep them entertained throughout their life, and there's going to be room to grow if necessary. But before we get started today, we have a quick word from our sponsor. One thing about me, if I can avoid making a phone call for any reason, I will. I get especially anxious when it comes to making appointments. I hate calling around and being put on hold, and it's even worse when I'm trying to make an appointment about a health issue, because finding the right doctor is already stressful enough, and then the longer you wait, the more the anxiety builds, and it's just a big mess. But with today's sponsor ZocDoc, you can find the right doctor and book an appointment with ease. It's a free-to-use website that helps you find high-quality in-network doctors so you can book with someone you love. That means no more getting anxious about phone calls and no more being put on hold. Because of my phone anxiety, I love booking things right on my phone from the comfort of my couch, and a solution for booking healthcare appointments? Game changer. You can search through and find appointments with over 150,000 providers across all 50 states, and I like that you can also search by specialty or symptom to find providers in dermatology, dentistry, primary care, or one of the other 200 specialties offered on ZocDoc. There are in-person or video visit options. Plus, another great feature on ZocDoc is you can filter through thousands of verified patient reviews so you can feel confident about your booking. When you book, you can see their real-time availability and click to book instantly online. And your appointment will typically be made within 24 to 72 hours of booking, and sometimes you can even get a same-day appointment. Prioritizing your health is super important, so if you're like me, you've got phone anxiety, this could be a great help. So consider using ZocDoc to find and instantly book an appointment with a top-rated in-network doctor by using my link ZocDoc.com/sydmac. And thank you so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. So when I'm building family homes in The Sims 4, I like to build them in San Sequoia. This is the world that comes with The Sims 4 Growing Together, aka the family pack, and I'm going to be building up here on this 40 by 30 lot. I'll start off by building my shell, and this part is super important because I'm already thinking about spacing on the interior, like how many bedrooms am I going to want in here, how much room we're going to have to leave for that, and where my stairs are going to be. So I'm thinking that's going to be pretty good for my bottom floor. I also would love a garage, so I'm going to build a room out to the side, and then coming up to the second floor, I'm going to do something similar up here, except instead of having those diagonal pieces, I'm just going to go ahead and add bump outs like that. Another thing I'm thinking of when I'm building my shell is actually the roofing. So even just looking at these bump outs, I know that that's going to be an opportunity to add a roofing there. I am also going to go ahead and build a balcony. I'll let it hang off a little bit because I also want to add a space here, and since I've raised this up on a foundation, that's going to be where our stairs will go. Okay, now that we're done with our shell, we're going to go ahead and roof it, and I'm going to start off with a gabled roof piece. I'm going to bring that all the way to the back, and I like this because I feel like this is going to be our focal point. Then I'm going to look for other spaces to cover, so this big rectangle here, I'm going to use a hipped roof piece, so it looks like that. And then like I was saying with those bump outs, I'm going to cover those as well with another hipped roof. I can even double them up like this to make it look a little bit more interesting. And for the roof paint, I'm thinking about doing a black metal. I kind of want to go for more of a modern home today, which is definitely not my specialty, but we're gonna try it. The garage part down here is easy. I can just cover that up with a gabled roof piece. I wanted to still look connected to the house though, so I'm gonna also take another piece, and we're just gonna add that in and shrink it like this. I can hide it inside the other roofing. It's basically just there to look like there's something connected. I also think some roofing here could be nice, so I'm adding a half hipped roof piece. That's just gonna hang out right there, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and I might change it up with the roof paint. Maybe for the garage too, just so we have some different texture going on. I'm gonna clean up this balcony with some trim. We also need a foundation paint, and I also want to find some nice columns that are gonna hold up this balcony piece. These ones I'm using are from Growing Together. I'm gonna go in and add my stairs at the front. Thankfully, For Rent has a matching railing, and okay, based on this shell, I'm happy where this is going. Now we can add all the details. I like the look of these slim windows from For Rent. I think those can go up top. We need a tiny window up here for the roofing, so I'm adding this one from Growing Together, and I think I'm gonna add that one on the garage too. For a sliding door option, we have this really skinny one from Businesses and Hobbies. And then for the garage door, I almost always use this one from Snowy Escape. We'll add a little ramp like driveway over there. Not that it's necessary, but that'll connect the ground to our floating foundation garage. And I think I might reuse these windows down below. Since we added those diagonal pieces, it kind of has a different effect down there. And on the interior, they're going to be like little bay windows. Also, since we covered it with that hip sloped roof. That means we're not gonna have to roof that tricky octagonal space. And now we need a nice front door. I feel like this is the most important part. Like our door option is gonna set the tone for the entire thing. Like if I went for something like this, totally different vibe than the modern one that I placed. And since our home is so symmetrical looking, our perfect home of course is symmetrical, aside from the garage at least. That means we can keep our chimneys symmetrical. Later when we add landscaping, we can add symmetrical trees on both sides. It's just a really easy way to make your build look put together. Okay, now for the driveway, we're gonna take a gabled roof piece. This is such an old trick in The Sims 4, but you're gonna place it down where you want your driveway to be. I'm gonna bring in the adjusters and then I'm just gonna bring it to the garage door edge. We're gonna wanna make sure it's touching, so I'm gonna bring it towards the house. And then using Alt on my keyboard, I'm gonna lower that down until it's at the height that I want. And then holding Shift on my keyboard, I'm gonna grab hold of this adjuster and bring it out. I feel like it looks better too when it's not so steep, so you can just kind of play around with it until you get some kind of shape that you like. And then I like to go in with the gravel roof paint. There are other ones like this you could use, is really good too. This is a completely base game only trick. And then you have your little ramped garage. I won't lie, I have been completely cheating here. I haven't added any windows or anything really to the back. So let's change that. I'm gonna change it up though, and I'm gonna use these windows from Growing Together just to make sure we have something different going on the sides. But in the back, we're gonna keep it the same with those for rent windows. I also know I'm gonna want a nice deck back here. So I'm gonna build that out. I want a big focus on the backyard. I like to change my foundation on decks to like a stilt foundation. And I also like using more wooden stair options. Since I did my last perfect family home video, there have been a lot of packs added, like Adventure Awaits, so we can build a big jungle gym back here. It'll be good. But now that we have all our windows added, I need to find a wallpaper. And I really do like the lightness going on with the contrast of the black roof. So I wouldn't be opposed to keeping this fairly light. And when I'm building a 2-story like regular family home, I'll almost always want at least 2 different wallpapers. Depending on the size, sometimes you could get away with 3 or more, but I feel like 2 is generally like a good place to start. If you don't know where to put it, a lot of the times I'll just do like something on the bottom and then something else on the top. I feel like no matter which way you spin it, that's kind of like a foolproof way to do it. Personally, I like this. I've got a Seasons wallpaper on the bottom and a cottage living brick everywhere else. I also like to clean up my edges with a column, so I'm using this one from Growing Together. I love the giant bridge in this world. I think it's modeled after San Francisco. So in the back, you can just see the giant bridge back there, and it kind of just takes over the whole sky. It's really pretty. All right, that's pretty much it for the base of the house. Now we just have to go in and add things like landscaping. I'm also gonna add a fence for this lot. That way we can add a cute little gate, make it look nice and fancy and not glitching at all. I'm lining the edges with the symmetrical tree line that I was talking about. I feel like that's the description you hear a lot when describing like the perfect home. It's like real estate listings are even always leaning into that. Like, oh, the house is on a tree-lined street. So for our perfect home, we are lining the street. Before I get too carried away with landscaping, I am gonna add a pool. I'm gonna line around it with some tile. And actually, I might do this whole space so I have room to add chairs and umbrellas. So like now we can have some nice loungers out here like this. I'll add some umbrella tables. And because of Adventure Awaits, now we have the diving board. I'll add my pool ladders. Adventure Awaits also has a water slide. So now we just have the most fun backyard ever. And I haven't even added the jungle gym yet. So now I'm gonna add that over to this side. You can kind of put the pieces together and make your own, or there are pre-made pieces you can add as well. And I think I'm just gonna leave it at this to make sure I have enough space. Then I like to just add some terrain paint under there for a little more realism. I also sometimes like to fence in my pools. You like legally have to here where I live. So it always looks kind of weird to me when the pools are just like out in the open. Plus it's just like a nice little added detail over here. The backyard is a great place to add as many skill items as possible. So I have my telescope there. I'm gonna add some weights. I think I'll add those over to this side, or I could even put them by the pool if I wanted. Swimming does up your fitness skill. To the side of the garage, I'm gonna add some little bikes. This is so cute. What a good little childhood. I guess I realistically could put these in the garage. I think Sims take them and put them into their inventory so they could just like take them outside. We'll add a barbecue back here. We'll have a nice big dining table. I'm also gonna add a high chair out here because we're probably gonna have a toddler. And I'm just adding some final activities on this table here too. So we've got the paper mache kit. We could do the friendship bracelet making kit. There are more outdoor activities over here like this water balloon bucket, a football, and a soccer ball. All right, so our perfect family home in The Sims 4 is complete. This is a big big house. I went crazy with the landscaping. I added even more skill items outside too. I added the mailbox and the trash can just outside the gate. Up top, I added a little balcony with a tea set, somewhere for the adults to hang out and chat. Coming over to the side, I had room to add a swing set. And we of course have the pool area. I also added a spin bike over here. So they kind of have their own like at-home gym and they can swim in the pool, lift the weights, use the bike. They don't really need much else. On the back deck, we've got our dining table, our barbecue. I did also add a toy box outside for kids, and I decided that our perfect family home needs a dog. So I also added a dog toy bin right next to the kid one. Then coming out here, we've got our jungle gym. I added some gardening space in the back too. And then to the side, I just added another picnic table and I added a chess table. Maybe the grandparents come over and they like to play chess with the kids. I just noticed part of the wallpaper and foundation got messed up, so I just fixed that. Look at that shot of it. She's lovely. Okay, now we're ready to go inside. So here's the floor plan that I came up with. We've got a big hallway when we walk in. We'll do kitchen and dining over to this side. We can have a living room here, a playroom for the kids, and then we'll have our bathroom and our garage. Then upstairs, again, we have a hallway, 4 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms up here. I used archways in here to make sure that there's lots of flow, so it's gonna be really easy for lots of Sims living here to get in and out of rooms without being in each other's way. There is also room in this hallway if you wanted to go in and add a basement. I don't think we're gonna need it, but again, if you needed room to grow, maybe grandparents are moving in or something, you need storage or something, then you would have room to add a basement. I think we're actually gonna go upstairs and start with the bedrooms. That way we can figure out who exactly we have living here. So the parent bedroom is gonna be over here because they will have an ensuite bathroom. My favorite bed lately is this one from Businesses and Hobbies. It looks so comfy. It's nice and modern looking too. And I actually just brought the bed forward a little bit so I can add this fake wall from the sleek bathroom kit. I like using this as my end table. It just keeps things nice and clean. You can add lamps back there still. You can add plants on it. I'm just gonna add some glasses by the bed and maybe like a book. I can add a nice rug underneath the bed. We could add a mirror to this side and this could be where we add the dresser. Oh, I have this nook in the wall. I could add the mudroom kit dresser right there. And then we could do some open shelving as a dresser here as well. I can add some art over the bed. They have the nicest window here, so I'm using a lot of the mudroom kit and I'm adding this bench right by the window. For curtains, I think I'm gonna use these ones from Discovery University. I'm gonna add some art over on these walls, a cozy blanket bin. For a skill item over in this corner, I'm adding an easel. And all right, we've got a nice, cute, cozy, and clean parent room. Just the one skill item in here. I didn't want this to be too much. I wanted this to be like a nice, cozy place for the parents to relax. For their ensuite, this is the perfect spot for a shower. And this is a big room, so they can have everything in here. We could do a bathtub, a little plant in the corner. Actually, let's do toilet there on this side. Our plant can go here. And that way we have room right here for our sink. Now we just need a nice mirror and maybe just some art in here. I'll add some towels and we could use some art on these walls. All right, so we've got a cute modern bathroom. Everything they need in there so they don't have to share with the rest of the family. Hopefully that can keep the bathrooms a little less busy as well. Okay, next I did say we were gonna have a toddler. I don't think I've used this Enchanted by Nature toddler bed yet, so I'm gonna revolve everything around that. The thing is, this is such a big room, so I think I'm actually gonna have our toddler room be this one. That one over there is a little smaller, and I was thinking about putting a platform here to add some dimension to the room, but I feel like that's probably a bad idea in general. Apparently, it was gonna say for a toddler. What if I change that to a fence? Are we still gonna have problems? Yes, we are. Okay, well, no platform, I guess, but we still are gonna have the toddler room be over here. Ooh, let's make a little fantasy themed toddler room with like the unicorn rug. These lights from Enchanted by Nature are also so cute for a toddler room. Also from that pack is this toy bin, which is just adorable. And there's also a dollhouse, but I want to make sure we're gonna have room for it. I might actually put that over in this corner instead. That way I can still add a change table. I'm using this one from the storybook kit. You need a trash can for that. Ooh, this storybook kit is going to look stunning with this theme. We could even add this over top of the bed. I wanted a canopy like that when I was a kid so bad, like something just to go over top of the bed. I'm rearranging this a little bit so I have room for this clothing rack. This is so cute because you can add little clothes on there and storage. We could add a plushie. Oh my gosh, the sloth is adorable with the bow. I'm adding a table here, a cute animal themed lamp. I think now we just need some pictures on the wall. And okay, now we have an adorable toddler room. They've got lots of toys to play with in here. We have the changing table. This bed could easily be turned into bunk beds, or you could change this into a bassinet if it was a baby. Oh, the bassinet is cute in here too. All right, but I'm gonna leave it for now. This is our toddler room. Next, we could do a kids room. I want to do a kids room and a teen room. So, okay, I think I'm gonna make a boys room. We're gonna have two boys, maybe they're twins, and I'm building them a fort. So we're gonna have these bunk beds. Ideally, they would be like this, but I want them to be able to go under it. So I'm gonna assume they just pushed one over here. And then we're gonna see what we can do over in this side to make it look like they've done like a little DIY fort situation. Like we can have fairy lights back here. We're gonna push these lockers, so those are gonna be blocking the edges. If you want to get in, you gotta go under the bunk bed. I think it would be cool if we like hung curtains from it too. So yeah, curtains here. I like that they're mismatching too. It's like they just found whatever they could. They've got a toddler like sister, maybe we'll have a teen sister or something. So this is like their boys club, like no girls allowed. And like what are they doing in there? Probably nothing. Maybe they got some toys in here, some toy cars, just like stuff on the floor. Maybe there's some pillows on the ground. How cute. I added the little pillow chair. It's literally just a bunch of toys in here, but that looks fun. We'd also just add some little posters in here too. And okay, cute. That is our fort. That's kind of just like a fun little feature of the house. So we have our two beds. We still need other essentials. Like we need a dresser. We could also use a mirror. And I do like to also give my child Sims a desk. I'll probably end up building an office like downstairs. And if we build a computer here, hopefully that will keep the kids like off of the one downstairs. We just need a little more decor in here. I'm trying to go with a bit of a space theme. Oh, and for all kid rooms, I always have to add the Defender wall light. This will keep the monsters away from being under the bed, which is so helpful because when they wake up the entire family, and then you have to put them all back to sleep. It's really annoying. So let's just avoid that altogether. Okay, so we have a super fun kid room. Two boys live in here. They've got their fort. They got a computer. They've got some toys to play with. I really like that fort idea. You could like change up what's in there too based on things maybe they collect in the world. But okay, there's pretty much all of our family members. We just have to do one for the teen. So since we have such a perfect family, I feel like we need a rebellious teen. We need black wallpaper. I think I'll give them this bed, and I'm trying to find a wallpaper that works. I think I want to give them a checkered rug, so maybe I will keep it all black. We'll add some end tables here, maybe a lava lamp, a dresser. Maybe they'll also have a TV in here that can just be at the end of the bed. A desk for a teen is also a good move because they can do their homework on the desk. I also like adding a computer so they can like chat with their friends on there, play games. This sim could be a bit of a gamer, so I'm adding in some of the stuff from the Comfy Gamer kit. I'm also gonna add in one of the egg chairs from high school years. I also really love these neon chairs from base game, and I'm also gonna add a record player. We could add some instruments, maybe a guitar. Ooh, the camera could be fun. This is already a pretty cluttered desk. We could do a love seat here. I like that there's a lot of room to sit in here. It'd be great for if they wanted to like hang out with their friends or something. And I just went and added a little extra art on the walls from the Cozy Kitsch kit. And this is our teen room. This is definitely a music lover slash gamer sim. And I like this room. It's a little bit different, but now we have our 4 bedrooms done. Everyone's got a bedroom. Now all we need upstairs is a bathroom. And for family homes like this, I really like having the bathtub and shower combo. That way it saves the room and your Sims have options depending on how much time they have to get out the door. A ladder toilet here. I'm trying to keep this one nice and modern, like the ensuite bathroom. Oh, and we will need a potty. I'll just place that right there for the toddler. I just tied it together with a wall plant from Dine Out, and that's gonna be the second bathroom out of the 3 we have in the house. Then for the hallway here, I'm gonna add a bookshelf, maybe an end table, maybe a couple extra skill items. So this is all I did for the hallway. I just tied it together with a little seating area. There's the bookshelf and an easel. I added another toy box for the dog, and I did go back in and I added a dog bed at the end of the parent bed. All right, now we can go downstairs. So we can start here with our living room, and I'm gonna build them some built-in bookshelves. So I added my fireplace there, and then I made 2 like smaller rooms right beside it. And then I'm gonna add these here as archways right beside. From there, you could just go in and add a bookshelf and like bring it forward. So then it looks like the archway is framing it. And you would just need to add your TV here. I added some glitter. I also added this rug from Parenthood. We can add a coffee table. And this is the bay window that I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna add this couch. The only thing is our bay window now is a little off center. I have this couch from Cats and Dogs that fits right in there, but I think I'm gonna save that for this room here. It's a little awkward of a space to have a chair there, so I'm gonna save that. But we do have an artist in the family, so I'm actually gonna take that easel and put this over here instead. So in here we have our living room. I love those built-ins. I feel like that's such a fun idea. They've got the easel in the back. I did add some curtains here. Let's go across the hall next and do the kitchen. This is a huge space for a kitchen. I can wrap my counters all the way around this way. Then we can have our fridge here, a double sink right here, and the oven. We also have space up top for our cabinets, so I'm just gonna put them on this side because I don't want to cut off the window over there. This room could definitely use a nice big statement light. Something that's gonna go on top of the island, which we can have our island right here. We'll add our trash can. I have my couch over in this corner still, and it would be so cool if we could connect this onto a dining table. It wouldn't actually be functional, but like that would be such a cute like breakfast spot. Under here we can add a dish rack. I love having the cookbooks on display in the kitchen. I feel like it makes it so homey. I think we should add a dishwasher. I like adding them onto my island pieces. That way it's kind of hidden and then all of the counters still look the same. We can add a coffee maker. I need all of the alarms before I forget. We need the smoke detector, burglar alarm, thermostat. Wait, I wonder if this would work. I just put the laptop on this table. I wonder if I could put it here. I kind of doubt it. If Sims could like sit there and use it. No, it doesn't work. That's okay. We'll move it over to the island and I'll add a notepad here instead. That's not a functional item anyway, so it's just for decor, but it looks like a really cute spot. Over in this corner, I'm gonna add some food bowls for the dog. I'm also gonna add the shelf with like the leashes by the door. And actually, while I'm here, Cats and Dogs has this really cute entryway table. You can't add any clothes hanging from it though, so I'm gonna add these from Dream Home Decorator. I'm adding some clothes here hanging from the shelves, and then I'm just gonna shrink those that I added and we'll raise it up and hide it so it looks like it's gonna be coming out of this shelf. Of course, we're gonna need backpacks over here too. I'll add a few of them on this shelf here, and I'll also add an ottoman by the door too, so you can sit and put your shoes on. All right, our kitchen is also done. We can move on and do the dining room, and we're gonna need one of the bigger tables. We have a big room to fill with lots of Sims living here, so we can do a full table. I swapped out those chairs with these ones, and we added a high chair. We need a rug underneath. We can do a mirror here, and I'm adding a table in the corner with a drink tray. Another thing I like to have in my family homes is the bulletin board. It's like a family calendar, and you can come on here and set curfews. You can write notes or make drawings for each other. So there we have our dining room. And then going back across the hall, I think I want to make this into an office. No one is going to be fighting for computers in this house. I'm going to add this here as a bookshelf. We can add a plant over top, maybe a cork board right here. And then in the back, we can have a little love seat. And then I also want to have room to add family photos. Growing Together has this frame set, and like they're empty in build mode, but you can go into live mode and change the photos for them. That way you can add family photos, pictures of the dog, and little cute extra things like that. So this is what I did for the office. I ended up adding some toys in here just to add a little more kid clutter. There's a toy bin on this side with the love seat. This is what I did for the final bathroom. They have the same bathtub and shower combo as upstairs. For the hallway, I added a toy box here. I also added some more bookshelves. I also added a couple more options for family photos. And finally, over in the garage, I did add a little car in here. I added some shelving with all of the tools up there so it's nice and organized. I did move some of the bikes out. We have some bikes in here, and I did move a couple of them out front as well. We have some more gym equipment in here, and I also added the workshop table so Sims could work on their handiness skill in here as well. So that has been us building another perfect family home for a large family in The Sims 4. Let me know which room was your favorite. I really like the bedrooms in this build. I do have some other videos in this perfect home build series, like vacation homes and other family homes, so I'll link those down below if you want to check those out as well. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.